Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Continuing with Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 10, text number 12 and 13. Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve Devarshi Naradas Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me." Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. First of all, thank you all so much for joining. And today we are going to learn from verse 12 onwards till the end of the chapter how to attain the highest devotional perfection. I'm sure all of us like to be perfect, and but it's better to attain perfection on the spiritual path also. Now, we heard the 4 verses last Sunday, which is called the Chatur Shloki, the summary of the Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna, after hearing everything from Krishna up until now, he is confirming that Krishna, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, personality means person, which means God is a person. He has a form, but his form is not like ours, which is material. His form is spiritual, Sat, Chit, Anand. It is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. So, after becoming free from all doubts, Arjuna has now accepted Krishna as the Supreme Lord, and he is declaring it boldly that you are the Supreme Lord. Now, previously, if you'll remember, we have learned where Krishna explained to us that he is the origin of everyone, that everything is and everyone is dependent on him, including the demigods. But because of ignorance, people do not understand that. And Krishna says, it's because of ignorance, no knowledge, people do not know that I am the absolute. But when we perform devotional service, which starts with mantra meditation, when we start doing that, then whatever knowledge we are taking, we are able to understand. You see, if you remember, last Sunday we learned that verse where Krishna says, Dadami Buddhi Yogam, that I give the intelligence. To whom? To those who worship him with love and devotion. And then when we understand that knowledge, ignorance is removed. So Arjuna, he was a good friend, you can say best friend of Krishna. So one may say, well, he's a friend, so he can say anything, that, oh, my friend is God. He can say that, but no, he is confirming it with Vedas. He's giving reference from the Vedic scriptures, and not just because he's a friend, he's flattering his friend. No, he's stating the facts. The verse that we read today, it's explaining that Krishna has been accepted as the Supreme Lord even by great sages like Asita, Devala, Vyasa, right? Vyasadev is an incarnation of Krishna. So now that we are learning so much about who is the Supreme Lord, who we are, how to perform devotional service, etc., what do we do with this knowledge, right? Up till now, we've been just hearing. Best thing is, after we hear, that's the theory part, we put it into practice. We do the practicals. Then we will really understand the purpose of human form of life. And when we start putting Bhagavad Gita into practice, we will start achieving the highest devotional perfection. You see, it's very, very important to, Bhagavad Gita is considered to be spiritual science, which gives us knowledge about ourselves. When we buy a gadget or we buy a new car, along with that comes a manual which is called the owner's manual, which gives us knowledge about how to use that gadget or how to use the car, etc. Similarly, for this human machinery, this human body, Bhagavad Gita is the owner's manual. It teaches us how to live this human form of life. Now, in the very next verse, Arjuna tells Krishna, I totally accept all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons can understand you, and especially faithless can never understand him at all. But Arjuna, he has understood Krishna's position and he is following the path that Krishna is giving it to him in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, in verse number 15, Arjuna is saying, you are the Supreme Lord, Lord of all, God of gods, Lord of the universe. You see, and you see, this is all theory part, knowledge. But to really actually understand the position of Krishna, one has to perform devotional service. You need to build a relationship with him. Yoga is very popular, since many, many years. People like to do yoga, people like to learn about yoga. But according to the Vedic scriptures, yoga means connection with the Supreme Lord. And Bhakti Yoga is what is being taught in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the highest rung of the yoga ladder. There is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, but right on top is Bhakti Yoga. What is Bhakti? Devotion. So when we perform Bhakti Yoga, which means practice devotional service, we achieve the highest perfection, because that helps us to purify ourselves, purify our mind, our senses, our body, our intelligence, everything. Now, Arjuna, during these few verses that he's talking about, he's addressing Krishna, he's calling him by different names. Like he calls him Purushottama, which means the supreme person. Bhuta Bhavana, father of all living entities. Bhutesha, supreme controller. Deva Deva, origin of all demigods. Jagatpati, supreme proprietor. You see? So after addressing Krishna in so many words, he wants to know what are the opulences of Krishna. He wants detail of his divine opulences. Now, Arjuna was a pure devotee. He knew everything. He did not need to know anymore, but he was inquiring for our benefit so that we can understand the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was completely satisfied, but he wanted to ask for us. So Arjuna is asking a few questions. Asking questions is a sign of intelligence. One may think, oh, my question will be really maybe stupid, maybe not so important. No. As far as spiritual science is concerned, all questions are valid. All questions, because when we inquire, we are removing our doubts. And when we remove our doubts, we can think very clearly. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, how can one think of you constantly? How can one know you? How can one remember you in various forms? Now, all these questions are very, very important. You see, in the Bhagavad Gita, we learned Yamyam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat ante kalevaram. That whatever state of being one is at the time of death, to that state one attains without fail. So whatever we are thinking at the last moment, that is a particular kind of body we will get in the next life. So his question, how can we remember you all the time or think of you constantly, is very, very important. Because when we think of the Lord constantly, then at the final examination, which is the time of death, we will be able to remember him. And what will be the result? We'll go back to the spiritual world. So this is what we are learning from the Bhagavad Gita. So these questions are very, very important. You see, if we do not have answer to such questions, then we will just be wasting human form of life, right? Arjuna is asking in verse 18, I want to know your opulences because I'm not satiated. I want to hear more. I want to hear in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I want to hear more and more. You see? So when we have a desire to hear more, when we have a desire to understand the purpose of human form of life, then we can understand we are on the right path. Then we are progressing towards the highest devotional perfection. You see, hearing is important. That's the first step. There are 9 processes of devotional service, and the first one is Shravanam, which means hearing, because until and unless we hear, how will we contemplate on it and how will we put it into practice? So Krishna, in verse number 19, he tells Arjuna that I will tell you my splendorous manifestations, but only prominent ones, because my opulence is limitless. Naturally, God, his opulences will definitely be unlimited, right? It's not possible for us to really comprehend the complete greatness of Krishna. Why? Because our senses are limited. So with limited senses, how can we perceive unlimited opulences? That's very difficult, you see. So to be able to understand, now we are going to hear some of his opulences, but to actually realize that, we need mercy of Krishna. You see? So now Krishna is going to describe only few of his opulences, the principal manifestations of his energies. That's it. Now, from verse 20 onwards towards the end, Krishna is saying, I am the super soul and heart of all living entities. I'm the beginning, I'm the middle, and I'm the end of all living entities. Now, all living entities includes all, not just human beings, all living entities, whether animals, insects, birds, aquatics, you just name it, all living. So he is the super soul that's situated in the heart of each and every living entities. And Krishna is addressing Arjuna as Gudakesh. Now, Gudakesh means someone who has conquered sleep, or in other words, someone who has conquered darkness of ignorance. So, with the help of Krishna's mercy, Arjuna is able to understand all that. And he says, I'm the source of, or you can say, he says, I'm the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation. And how? By just a dint of my primary expansion, I pervade the entire creation. You see? So how does that happen? Of course, you see the books at the back. That is the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the summary of the Vedas. They describe very nicely how the creation takes place, how the cosmic manifestation takes place, how the Lord, he takes on different incarnations, and the whole creation takes place. Now, verse 21 onwards, he gives the information, the knowledge about how he is the best. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. So there are 12 Adityas, and Krishna is the principal one. Of the lights, I'm the sun. Of the Maruts, I'm Marichi. Like the controlling deity is Marichi, that actually is represented by Krishna himself. Of the stars, I'm the moon. You see, of the Vedas, I'm Samaveda. Of the demigods, I'm King Indra, king of heaven. Of the senses, I'm the mind. You see, everything happens in the mind. What does the mind do? Thinking, feeling, willing. And all our desires, they appear in the mind. So mind is very, very important part of the body. And Krishna is saying, of the senses, I'm the mind. Of the living entities, I'm the living force, which is the consciousness. You see, that's the difference between body and soul. As soon as the soul leaves the body is dead. It doesn't move. Senses don't work. The body cannot talk, walk, do anything. What was it that was giving it that force, the living force? It's the spirit soul. And we can tell the difference by the state of consciousness. If the body is not conscious, that means the soul has left the body. So Krishna says, of the living entities, I'm the living force, which is consciousness. Of the Rudras, I'm Shiva. And of the Yakshasas, I'm Kuvera. So like that, he is describing the best of everything. For instance, of vibrations, he says, I'm transcendental Om. Excuse me, and that Om, excuse me, that Om is represented by Krishna. Of the mountains, I'm Meru. Of the bodies of water, I'm the ocean, because ocean is the greatest, right? Of the sacrifices, I'm the chanting. And that is what is recommended in this age of Kali Yuga. Krite yadhyayato Vishnu tretayam yajato make. Dwapare paricharyam kalau tad hari kirtana. In Kali Yuga, we get the same benefit that was received in different ages, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. The same benefit we get in Kali Yuga by how? Just by chanting. Just like the doctor gives a prescription based on the disease, and there is a particular prescription. Similarly, the prescription for Kali Yuga is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. That is the purest representative of Krishna. It's a purest representation of Krishna. See? So whatever is sublime is representative of Krishna. Just like we've heard the Himalayas, right? We all have heard about the greatest mountain, Himalaya. So Krishna says, of the immovable things, I am the Himalayas. You see? Of the trees, I'm the banyan tree. We have seen banyan tree. Whoa, wow, it's so great, so big, so huge. Amongst the sages, among demigods, he says, I'm Narada. Of the horses, I'm Uchashrava. So we can see, if you have time, you read through this chapter 10 of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, and you will notice from verse 21 onwards, he's giving a list of just a small list of his opulence, just the primary ones, you see. So from that, we can understand that Krishna is the greatest. And from the Vedas, we already learned he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we look in the dictionary meaning of God, it's singular. No one equal to him and no one above him. That is the position of God. So after hearing all these, towards the end, Krishna tells Arjuna, excuse me, that I'm the generating seed of all existence. Important word is all. It's not that he is the seed giving father of just a few. No, he is the seed giving father of all existence. Aham bija pradaha prita. So nothing moving or non-moving can exist without Krishna. And then Krishna says, excuse me, I'm sorry, that there is no end to my divine manifestations. As he explained in the beginning, his opulences are unlimited, his manifestations are unlimited. So how is it possible for us to put or talk about all his opulences in just the small book Bhagavad Gita? No. Krishna says, whatever I have told you just now is just a mere indication of my infinite opulences. I've just given you a few examples, right? Everything opulent, everything beautiful, everything glorious in the creation comes from me, Krishna says. It comes from the spark of my splendor. So he's telling Arjuna, what need is there for the detailed knowledge, right? It's not possible for us mere human beings with mere mind, little intelligence. I'm talking about spiritual intelligence, not material intelligence. Materially we may be very well qualified, very well educated, but to understand the spiritual science we don't have the intelligence to understand all the opulences of the Lord. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, what need is there for detailed knowledge? With just a fragment of myself, I pervade, I support this entire universe. Can we imagine or even comprehend how such a big banyan tree is actually inside a small seed? When that seed is sown, it fructifies, it grows and becomes a great banyan, huge banyan tree. Is it possible to comprehend that? All the beautiful things that we see in this world, the beautiful sky, the oceans, the trees, the flowers, everything, Krishna says, is just a single fragment of myself. And he's the one who's pervading, and he's also supporting the entire universe. Have we ever, we don't even have enough knowledge of all the planetary systems, all the planets that are moving, that are in orbit. Have we ever heard any of them clashing or losing their speed or increasing their speed? No, everything is working perfectly. How? By the mercy of the Supreme Lord. He himself has said that I enter into all living entities as the super soul. Haven't we experienced sometime in our lives that when we are about to do something, something that may not be right, that may not be the best thing to do, and then something within our heart tells us, don't do. Who is that? That is the Supreme Lord in the heart as the super soul. And he's guiding. What is a reason for him to be inside our hearts? So that he can guide us, he can be witness to all our activities, and he can show us the right way. But then it is up to us to decide, do we want to listen to that inner voice, or do we want to do what we want to do? Right? The choice is ours. That's the beauty. The Lord has given us that minute independence to do what we want to do. But the ultimate goal of human life should be to love Krishna, to come to that highest devotional perfection. That is the purpose of human form of life, not just eat, sleep, and be merry. That the animals also do, right? I don't know if they are merry, but they also eat, sleep, have babies, etc. So, what is different between the animals and us? We have philosophical intelligence so that we can try to understand who we are. Try to understand, why am I in this human body? Try to understand karma. Every action has a reaction. So, what kind of actions I need to perform? We've learned all this in the Bhagavad Gita right up to this chapter 10. So that we can perfect our human life and attain the highest perfection, which is qualify ourselves to go to our original home, which is the spiritual world. So Krishna is telling Arjuna towards the end of this chapter that I am the Supreme Lord. I have entered into all living entities as the super soul. And he's asking Arjuna to understand that everything exists because of the super soul. Even the demigods, they represent only parts of Krishna's opulences. So worshipping the demigods is discouraged. Krishna has already told us just a few verses away. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mataha sarvam pravartati. Iti matva bhajante mam. Bhajate means worship. So those who understand that I am the source of all material and spiritual planets, everything emanates from me, everyone comes from me, then those who are intelligent, they will, bhajate means they will worship the Supreme Lord. He's the origin of everything. So it would be an offense to put the Supreme Lord and the demigods on the same level or same category. Now, so what do we learn from this whole chapter number 10 is the opulence of the absolute, that we understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And the best part is in the very next chapter, number 11, it is entitled The Universal Form. And in that, Krishna will demonstrate, he will show to Arjuna how everything comes from him. He will show that which is called the Virat Roop, the universal form, the huge form, which with full description of what Arjuna can see within the body of Krishna. So there's theory and then there is the practical demonstration so that we can understand and we can believe based on knowledge and based on the universal form that Krishna is the source of everything. He is the origin of everything. So what is the point of all this knowledge? To understand all this knowledge is so that we understand the position and we fix our mind on Krishna. How? With performing full bhakti yoga, full, which means we start with step number 1, and that is mantra meditation. When we start chanting, then there's purification because these spiritual sound vibrations are so powerful that when they enter our ears, they go straight to the heart and start cleansing the heart of all unwanted things so that we can develop pure love for Krishna. So the first step is chanting the holy names of the Lord, which is the mantra meditation. What is mantra? Man means mind, and tra means to free the mind. Free the mind of what? Of all anxieties, right? So when we do that, then we come to that pure stage where we are able to understand the purpose of human form of life. You see? That is the whole purpose of even understanding the Bhagavad Gita. So I know there was someone who had joined for the first time. I don't know if Sandra has come for the first time, but I'll just post the mantra also in case you all, someone who doesn't know, but we will do mantra meditation for just 10 times. We'll just chant the holy name just 10 times, only 10 times. But I recommend that you please chant as much as you can on a daily basis. So let's chant at least 10 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So you see, it's very, very easy. So it's my humble request to all of you is, if you're not chanting, please start chanting. And if you're chanting, please increase your chanting. So I'll end now. If anyone has any questions or comments, you are welcome to ask.
Hare Krishna, Mother Gita. This is
Hare Krishna Premanjali. I didn't recognize him.
I attend other meetings on Zoom, so I use my
Okay, no problem.